Yeah, we have already 40 plus participants. Yes, we can start. Actually, the conference.
Yeah.
Before we start, one request, kindly put yourself on mute. In case you have a call to be taken, can you disconnect and rejoin, and don't please hold the call because there are a lot of disturbances which others will face. A very warm welcome to Mr. Vilas Kadiwan from Bangalore office. Thanks, Vilas, for consulting a session on project management and spirituality as part of the Business Excellence Conference in week. Vilas is a PMP consultant with more than 17 years of experience in the field of project management, consulting, agile software development. He's not here to work with us. He was the PMP prep workshop he recently conducted at the Johnson. And apart from project management, he's very passionate about trekking, and he's got a website on the same, Himalaya Trekking, if I'm not wrong. And over to you, Vilas. The stage is yours, and we can take it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Raji. Welcome everyone.
Yeah.
It's very nice that you guys are joining from VI. Let me introduce myself. My name is Vilas Kadiwan. So I will be talking to you on how project management and spirituality is connected, and what do we mean by project management, what do we mean by spirituality, and how we need to deal with the project outcomes in terms of expectation from the stakeholder, and all that in this 1 hour. My idea is to talk to you for a 1 hour and 10 minutes. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can type it out one option, or you can just ask on the phone. So I should be able to answer to you. However, if there are questions which are which goes beyond 2-3 minutes, then we can take it offline so that we don't hold somebody's time. With that, let me start for the day. Next slide. Okay. I have 19 years of the project management, product development, and client interfacing experience. So mainly into the software domain and software and telecom domain. And apart from that, I've been a practitioner of yoga and meditation. So that's one thing which started in terms of looking at how do I deal with the client engagements in terms of the issues which come on board, and how do we address it, how do we ensure that I'm able to provide the solution. So in order to come out of the stress, I found out that meditation is a very nice way to do that. So that's what I do. Other than that, I'm also an author. I write books and also write a lot of blogs on the project management, and especially on the software development in terms of agile, how do we utilize that, and then how do we deliver the products. Then I'm also a speaker and coach developer, apart from the coach. And I'm a PMI PMP certified, and also agile certified coach. And used to travel a lot to Himalayas, especially in the Indian side of Himalayas, Nepal Himalayas. And that's the time I got this interest. Basically, as part of the army, we used to provide networking solutions, and that's the time when I got in love with Himalayas, being into trekking and a lot of tour activities in that region. So last year, I just quit the company to start a company called as Himalayan Fantasy. So if you actually go to the website, you'll be able to find out more on the tours and treks. Excellent. Okay. The agenda for today. What do we mean by the project management? Which means understanding the organization, who are the stakeholders on the project, difference in styles. I will talk to you on the styles of working of people and how it affects the project's success. Secondly, I'll be talking about spiritual essence. What do we mean by the term being spiritual, and what are the different kinds of minds and emotions we have, and what is called as insecurity we always carry, be it in life, be it in work, be it with family, and how it affects our own projects, both in the organization as well as outside the organization, And what do we mean by the term compassionate, friendly, praiseworthy, equanimity, which are the four pillars of being human being, and then how the project management and spirituality actually works. So let's go deeper into the project management. Mohammed, if you can move the slide. Yeah, next slide. On any project, if you see, be it internal or external, we find that requirement which are half truth. There is plenty of misunderstanding between various stakeholders, especially when there is a requirement being gathered, and how do we showcase it to the development team or to the QA team, or how the business analyst explain, or how the customer explain. So each stakeholder has got different view about what the feature is and what needs to be developed. Some people they feel dejected with the project because they take it personally, and that starts with fault finding and trying to fix up the person responsible for it rather than fixing up the actual issue. And then how the politics works in the organization, why politics happen in the organization in the first place, and then how it turns itself into some kind of favoritism, while the other person perceives that somebody is being favored to the other person, and reduced drive from team member to excel, and attrition in the teams. So this is what is the actual problem statement what we face every day on the project, be it teams, be it any organization, we have that. So let's understand about the organization. Yeah, understand the organization, which includes meaning of management. What do we understand by the term management? What are the different kinds of organization? Even though we have Oracle, we have IBM, we have SAP, we have so many organizations. We have software organization, we have hardware organization, we have non-IT organization. What's the meaning of organization? How it works? And then organizational influence on projects. That is how each organization throws itself a challenge on the person working on the projects. And what do we mean by the term organizational processes? That is, let us say, if I have joined from SAP into Oracle. SAP is a competitor to Oracle, or Oracle is a competitor to SAP. Now I, as a person, joined from SAP into Oracle. What are the processes I need to follow now? Because I used to follow some process in SAP. Might be good, might not be good, but what Oracle follows, I need to follow. So how does that affect my way of seeing the project, seeing the stakeholder? So that's what we will be talking about. So the next one would be about what do we mean by the term management? Moment. Next slide. Yeah. It would be management means it answers what, when, where, who, what, and how. It's called as 5I and 1H. Let's understand in detail. First of all, in any organization, why do they take projects? So that answers why. So there could be a business need, there could be a revenue expectation, there could be a market expectation. Some expectation are from customers to say that okay, like Oracle is has been providing FlexiQ to SDFC, so or any other banks, so they use the software. So as we start implementing in one branch to the next branch to the next branch, we keep on adding, and that's the reason that why means why we're taking this project. Once we take the project, not that everything is known. So that means that what is the project is all about. So every time we need to define what the project or why we are doing certain things in a certain way. When are we going to do it? Where are we going to do it? Is it in Bangalore or in Pune or Bombay or which locations or Chennai or where and why? Right? Again, who are the people who are involved with the project? What do they do, and how do they come into the project? How do they go out of the project? Okay, and how is where this project manager, as a person as a project manager, please remember it is a role what we're talking about. We're not talking the title of the person. It is a role. So what role he plays in the organization as a project manager, and how he or she is able to bring that experience to handle the project. Now, whenever we deal with project, it will come out with some expectation, and that expectation is part of the strategic planning. So when we talk about strategic planning, it means a game plan or way of doing things which is normally unique. That means how SAP does a project is totally different than how it is done in Oracle. There is nothing called as it's good or bad, but that's the way they do it, and that's the way. There is another way what Oracle does. So if I join from SAP into Oracle, I might find it very funny that why these people do it in this way. We would have done in that way because my experience is on that side. So that adds a lot of challenges on the person to either remove what he or she knew that that's how they have to do the project, or now with this new idea, new idea how we need to do the project. Next slide. So if we were to look at the type of organization, we have three kinds of organization. One is a projectized organization. I will be explaining what the projectized organization is. And there's a second kind of organization called as matrix organization. A third kind of organization is a functional organization. So these are the three basic kinds of organization what we have. Projectized organization are those organizations where the departments come because of the project. There is no actual departments as such. Let us say, as an example, is that there is HOD marketing, HOD sales, and HOD IT. All these are departments. Whereas if there is a project-based organization, there are no departments. Projects dictate what kind of departments are required. So in that way, what happens? People working in one department, let us say IT department, after the project is completed, they don't know where to go. So that causes this bench that people are waiting on the next project to arrive so that they can then be moved to those projects. Let us say there are no projects of that type. Then it is all about moving the person to some other department or some other project which he or she might not like, or they might go outside the organization itself. Second one is a matrix organization. So projectized is one extreme, whereas matrix is it looks into the projectized way of working, but also some department way of working. So functional department always have this HOD. So HOD sales, the projects in the sales department are done by those people. Let us say I'm a project manager implementing FlexiCube in the sales department, in the finance department, in let us say in the marketing department, IT department. I am reporting to HOD IT. Whereas if I were to use the resources or the people or the time of let us say the finance department, sales department, marketing department, I need to take prior permission. So in a projectized organization, I don't have to take anybody's permission because all the people would be reporting under me. Whereas in a functional organization, they are reporting to the functional managers. That means necessarily I need to take a permission from that manager to utilize those people on the project. So let us take a scenario where this IT manager whom I report would like to know where we are on this project for implementing FlexiCube in the finance department. So I would go back and say that look, today I tried explaining about why we need to do it, but the finance manager is not agreeing to give his people to me, so I'm not able to implement. So that might show to my manager that I'm not doing anything at all. That means I have already done my PMP certification, for example, and then he expected me to be able to convince people that why they need to implement FlexiCube and what's the advantage, whereas I'm not able to do it. So the difference between the projectized organization and the functional organization is who has authority. In a projectized organization, the project manager holds authority. In a functional organization, the functional manager holds authority. In a matrix organization, both hold authority. Depends on whether it's a weak matrix organization or a strong matrix organization. So this is how the organization works when I would go for an interview with a company. I need to look into whether it is a projectized organization or it is a functional organization or it is a matrix organization because the way I would work depends on the type of organization. Next slide, please. So then we have this organizational influence. That means say that working in SAP, working in Oracle, working in IBM, working in Accenture, working in GE, working in so many other companies, they have their own individual characteristics. Like in HP, Hewlett Packard, how the company was formed, what were the success criteria, so they would like to grow that, right? Oracle, how it was formed and how they attained success, they would like to follow that. I, as a person, might not be able to either say this is not okay in this organization or so and so is not okay in this organization because it is an organization influence. This organization will behave in a particular way, irrespective of I, as a person, like it or I don't like it at all. So it doesn't really matter. So organization as an entity within a market space. Two is that the culture and tradition where the organization is located. Like in these cases, like in SAP, Oracle, or any organization, they are from US. So the culture difference between what we do in India and what we do in the US, that is one culture. As second culture is what we do in India by various location. So how it is done in Chennai depends on people in Chennai. So they have a different kind of mindset when it comes to Bangalore, and they might have a different mindset when we compare with Hyderabad, Pune, and all these things. Because even the human beings are same, the way they are actually brought up are totally different. So we behave in a different way for a different kind of environment. The third one is customers of Oracle in Bangalore or in Pune or in elsewhere, suppliers or the vendors whom we have, and the governmental and other third-party interactors. How easy it is to work in Bangalore versus how easy or difficult to work in Hyderabad, how easy or difficult to work in Pune, depicts what kind of environment we have. That is what makes us to do something in a good way or makes us to do something in a bad way. Even though we were successful in the previous organization, we might not be successful in the current organization. However, if we were very bad in the previous organization, we might be very good in this organization. So that depends on this factor. Next slide, please.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Yes, sure.
Hi all, whoever is on the phone, requesting all of you to please don't keep on hold. It is disturbing other people. Please don't keep on hold. If you have to keep on hold, please disconnect the phone and whatever works you have connect and then later connect it again. Thank you.
Okay. That was about the organizational influence. The next one is organizational process. Let us say, as example, is that I started a company called as Mullen Fantasy. So now I don't have any processes. I have staff, but I can't implement any of the processes. So let us say somebody from a very good process-oriented organization joins me. He or she would feel that in this company there are no processes at all. Whereas a person who did not have any processes join the process organization, he or she might feel that, oh, I don't have any independence at all, right? Because when we have processes, it takes out of independence. If we have independence, you require a process. So it depends on how much process we need to have. So every organization has its own processes, like policy, standards, procedure. Is it an ISO related organization? Does it have CMMI certifications or Six Sigma or any kind of those certifications? Are there any proprietary processes like Bosch has their own processes? Oracle, I'm 100% sure, will be having their own processes. SAP will have theirs. So every organization will have their own processes. So they will follow what is indicated in their manual. And then the templates and tools used for the project. It can be MS Project, Primavera, or Excel sheet, or wiki pages, or anything, right? And vendors and customer interfaces, what we have, how we need to be interfacing with various vendors, what are the approval requirements. All those are part of the policies. Just for example, let us say, again, going back to the organization which has started, there is no processes to say that how the salary gets transferred to my staff. I have not done any processes because we have STFC account and it just goes to that. Whereas In a company like Oracle, SAP, or any company, once a person joins, he or she would be shown that how the intranet site looks and which account, or sorry, which bank the salary gets credited and when do they get their salary. So all that is indicated. Let's say as an example. So that means that there is some processes, or I might not have any processes. So that depends upon what is the kind of organization. So as a person joining a particular organization, will have some challenges to understand about the the organizational processes and links what is being provided by the organization. Next slide, please. Now let's come into the meaning of project management. Project management involves the following. One is to understanding the triple constraints of the project. I will tell you what those constraints are. Second one is the stakeholder, that is managing expectation of the stakeholder. A third one is scoping, estimating, scheduling, quality and risk, and how do we deal with that. The fourth one is communication and human resource management. The fifth one is skills required for the project manager. These are called as the soft skills. The last one is the power or authority provided by the organization to the person, and how it actually works in the project and how it affects the project. Next slide. The first thing is about the project triangle. So if you could see here, this person is now confused which side to go. So one is on the budget, the second one is the scope or the features what we have or we need to develop on the product for which we are taking the project, and the schedule, which is the timeline, and what affects is the quality. So these three taken together, that is scope, budget, and schedule, are called as the triple constraint. They affect quality in some way or the other. So it means if the schedule is shortened or extended depending upon the feature set, to meet the same time or to meet the same budget, we need to either compromise on the quality or we need to pay more money to complete that portion of work. Next slide. So the next step is to understand the stakeholders. Stakeholders are those people who have direct or indirect interest in the project and its outcome. That is, each one of us in this room is a stakeholder. Each one of us in the room and those people who have joined from outside are stakeholder for the session, what we are doing in the morning. So they have an impact. That is, it might affect them positively or it might affect them negatively to the success or failure of the project. Includes everyone involved in the project, either full-time or part-time. So the project management. The meaning of the project management is that it's an application of knowledge, skills, tools and techniques to the project activities in order to meet the project requirement is the project management. So this is from the PMBOK guide. So the PMI PMBOK says that the project management, that is the management, was for 5 W's and 1 H. In terms of the project management, it becomes 4 W's and 1 H, where the organization has decided to take a project. Why is already answered in terms of the business case. The remaining 4 W's and 1 H, the how portion is what is answered by PMI in terms of project management. What do we mean by project management? It means the application of knowledge and skills. Knowledge and skills of all the stakeholders, tools and techniques provided by the organization to the project activities in order to meet the project requirements is a project management. Thus, project management is about making things happen and not letting them automatically happen. So, project management is one area which needs to be very strong in any organization so that they can then understand the requirement and see how they can be met within a particular feature set, and then the schedule and the budget, so that they can get the quality of work which was expected out of the project. The second one is to understand about the portfolio management. Now, this is called LOB. Why does an organization have multiple LOBs, or called as, if I could say, like a banking as one sector, insurance as another sector? Those are called as LOB, that is line of business. Wherein, if we were to look at the revenue, let us say I would like to have 300 crores as the total revenue for the organization as an example. Now, if I were to have control over that 300 crores, is that I need to know at which market, which projects would actually bring me those 300 crores. To do that, I need to look at the line of business and have somebody as a portfolio manager to look into how to actually focus on those projects which can bring such kind of revenue. So that is the reason why a portfolio is created. So portfolio management is a collection of project or programs, like in the case of LOB, where grouping meets organizational strategic goal than managing them individually. While we do that, it helps in monitoring various projects better and to have control over the resources and budget. Some organizations have an account manager who performs this function. That is, if we have an account manager, he or she is then focused full time on those on the portfolio. Like in the case of Oracle, banking, like SDFC, a person will have an account manager whose job is to look at all kind of SDFC branches, what is required, and maybe ICICI, Axis Bank. So banking can be one of it, or some other can be another one of it. But totality, if we look at it, it's a portfolio. Next. Next, we come to the program management. What do we mean by the program management? Under the portfolio, we have programs. Programs means collection of projects in order to meet the portfolio strategy goal. Out of 300 crores, let us say 100 crores should be coming from banking, and out of 100 crores, 25 crores each quarter. So to see which projects are meeting that goal, for that reason we need to have a program management. So in some organization it's called as a program management group. In some organization they might call them as a program group. In some organization they might call them as a program managers. But whatever it is called as, it is required to ensure that the portfolio strategic goal is met. It helps in monitoring various projects better, something similar to what we did on the portfolio side of the projects. Next one, we are looking into the PMO and the PMCOE, that is Project Management Center of Excellence. Now, one clarity you need to have at this stage is that there is portfolio, then there are programs, then there are individual projects. These three cannot be handled by one person. As the organization grows, so the number of projects increases. If somebody were to look at how many projects and what is happening on each of the projects, how much revenue we are making, how much loss we are making, is it successful, is it failure, which customer is doing what, and how are we meeting the requirements of the customers, are they happy, are they unhappy, and all that, that cannot be done by one person. At that time, the organization might go into another organization within an organization called as a project management office. So the project management office established to standardize processes and tools. Let me say that in Oracle, let us say some teams might be using MS Project, some teams might be using Excel sheet, some team would not use anything at all, or some team might use Primavera, or they might have bought so much of licenses, either it is unused or not, or used but not actually used, and the investment is made on software or what, for whatever reason. One. Then there are a lot of templates, different kind of templates. Everybody would like to tailor their own template, create their own templates. So if somebody were to compare between a report A and the report B, they both are different. Even though the data is same, how the report has been got is different. So I, as a, let us say, GM of an organization, would like to see how we are doing in the project. I would not like to have too many different kind of reports. Rather, I need to have a centralized report which will tell me really how the projects are managed. So for that reason, the PMO is established. This department would champion all projects and look into what and how aspect of the project. That means it would empower people in terms of managing this project, either in terms of training to be required, to be provided, or all the tools and techniques to be provided to the individual or to the project managers as well. When authorized, this department would also look at optimization of human resources required for the project. Let us say sometimes we would hire a lot of people in expectation of some projects. Sometimes some team would require some people for 3 months, 6 months time frame, and we might not know how to give it to them, or we might not even know that there is some requirement existing. So if some people are on the bench, it could be utilized on those kind of projects. So PMO really helps in that regard of moving from one team to another team. Also develop standards, template, and implementation of the tools across the organization. Next slide.
There is one person who is asking about that. Two person. The name of the presentation of the real meeting focus on the PM and spirituality relationship can be taken into details. Yes, I agree with the person. I also want to listen more of the PM and spirituality concept.
Yes, it's correct. So we are actually going on that way only.
Yeah.
Okay. Now at present, my idea is to talk only on the project management. Next step will be talking about how spirituality affects. I mean, what do we mean by that, and how do we incorporate the spirituality aspect into the project management? What we need to do. So let's first understand what is required from the project management perspective. The skills required for any person on any project, not talking only on the project manager, but on everybody associated on the project. Three skill set. One is a technical skill set. So most of us starts with the technical line into any organization. Let us say I am a database administrator, developer, tester. That is purely technical. Including the product management, that is again technical area, because we deal only with the product, we deal only with the features. Second one is a management skills, and now here the problem starts. What do we mean by the term management skills? I will be showing to you what those management skills are, but then organization all of a sudden expects the person to possess fantastic management skills so that they can then move into that kind of role. The problem is I have been developed so much into technical line. I don't know how to move into the non-technical role. Third one is interpersonal skills. This has got nothing to do with management. It is about how I understand what you require and how I'm able to do it for you. So you feel very happy. Oh, Vilas, oh, he's able to understand my requirement, he's able to do it. But I don't know, he's not able to do it, or that other person is not able to do it. So that is the interpersonal skills. The more the interpersonal skills a person possesses, he or she can move into the organization much faster than what only the technical skill set could take you. We will understand on why it is like that. The reason is, when we look at the management skills, expectation is that leadership. What is the meaning of leadership is that by my own actions, either it is controlled actions or self actions, people start liking it and they start following. Just like Arvind Kejriwal, if we take that as an example, he started with Aam Aadmi Party, so they thought that something is going to bring it. He's doing something else now, but there are followers. There are followers in whatever he's doing. Might be good, might be bad, but then there are followers. That means he is able to lead, so people are able to follow. So that's the meaning of leadership. Second one is a people management. We all are people. We all are human beings. So every human being has his or her own requirement. So how do we manage that? Third one is influencing the organization. What is meaning of influencing? Influencing means that if I join Oracle today, in 1 year time from today, my name should be known. That there is a person called as Vilas Kariwal and he might be doing something, but there is a person called by that name. If that name is not there or nobody knows who this person is, that means I'm yet to establish myself. So that is meaning of influencing the organization. Motivation here means that I not only feel enthusiastic of going to the work and doing the work, seeing my way of working, people also like it. So I'm able to motivate people. So when we say I am able to motivate, that means this person should be motivated himself in the first place. If this person is not motivated, if he's coming to the office as though why he came today, and if somebody asked him what happened, I'm sick and tired of this place. I applied everywhere. I'm not getting a job, so I'm still following. If you see some people keep on complaining for everything, right? And if you see that they would be the people who would continue in that organization, they would be all along saying that I want to quit, I want to quit, I want to quit. So, but they would quit. The reason is that they only would like to complain, and people associated with them would be so much demotivated because this person is not motivated himself or herself. The next one is conflict management. What do we mean by term conflict? Conflict here means that my perception about something, some subject, be it flexicube, be it whatever feature that needs to be done for a customer, is not in line with what the other person is trying to understand. So you would say this is not the way to do a particular feature, and I would say this is how it has to be done, and that creates conflict. So the person needs to have a very good conflict management ability. Let me see that ability to understand the conflict, not the personal conflict. That means we should not attach the personality and say that this person is not good, and that's the reason he is actually creating this problem. Instead, we need to look at what is that which is causing the conflict. When you remove the person from the conflict, the subject becomes very easy. If you put the person in the conflict, you always see the person as the problem. Next is the presentation skills. This is most important for anybody getting into the project management side. The project managers 90% of the time should and will go into the communication. It's not about executing the project. In that case, what happens is he or she should be able to provide clarity on the reports, clarity on where the project is, and he should walk on the project. That means if somebody were to ask him what's happening on this project, this person, even with his closed eyes or her closed eyes, will be able to explain where the project is, what's happening, and why we are not able to do it, or we are able to do it. In that way, the confidence increases on the person. So if there are, let us say, 20 stakeholders associated on the project, and they feel that this project manager has all the information, and then they would feel, oh, what he's saying is right. If I myself don't have information, then the stakeholders would say that this person doesn't know anything. That means he's not confident. When any stakeholder feels that he or she is not confident over the other person, that creates some kind of doubts. So these doubts starts creating conflicts, because then I start probing. So that other stakeholders start probing. Show me this report. I want to see why this is not happening, that is not happening. No matter how much you explain, this person's perception now is that Vilas doesn't know information. So he's blocked. No matter what I show him. He said, I don't know, I think he's actually doctored the report. It is not like this. What I hear from customer is that we are very much late, whereas what he's showing is that we are on track. I don't believe whatever he says. So that is on the presentation skills. Next is the reporting skills. If you're seeing, first time when we send a report, and if it is perfect, next few report, even if you do mistake, nobody will catch you. It's a fact. Reason, first time you do anything right, people believe that you are generally doing right. First time you do anything wrong, later if you were to correct it, they always have this skeptical view. Oh, last time Vilas sent this report, it was not all right, right? He said 80% completed, it is 79.3% completed. So that 0.7%, I think, no, it's not acceptable. That too with a PFP certification, not at all. It's bad. Whereas if I have given 5 reports and in all the 5 reports it shows perfection, or says you should see this person's report. What they understood it is secondary, but they will go by what others say. So if I were to go and ask the second person, have you seen that report? Are you okay? Yeah. When I got this report, so nice, so good. I sent it to the customer. Customer is also very happy. That means if the customer is happy, I am happy. Because I am happy, everything is good. Right? So that is the reporting skill what we need to have. And then finally it is public speaking. There are many more. Public speaking is what I'm trying to do now. Go to somewhere and talk something, because that will take out the fear from the person. When we see so many people either in the room or somewhere, the first thought comes in our mind is that how can I speak? Can I speak or can I not speak? If I'm able to speak, how to speak? If I'm not able to speak and somebody catches, what will I do? So by speaking a lot, you will gain plenty of knowledge. Next slide. Interpersonal skills are of the following. Empathy. Empathizing means that no matter how much is the anger shown by the other person, I am not taking it very personally because he's talking something on the project. So I would go to that individual and say, yeah, I understand. I understand that you are at present disturbed. I will help you out. You tell me what are the issues you are facing. So in that way, allow him to vomit. When the person vomits, he becomes alright. But if you ask him to hold the vomit, he's going to ask you to vomit. Right? So instead, you allow that person to talk as much, let him come out of it, and then you give him some kind of solution. Second one is a communication skills. Communication skill is that the person needs to be very clear in what he or she is able to articulate. Some people speak very fast, some people speak very slow. If I speak very fast, it is very hard for any person to understand. If I am speaking very slow, then the people are going to yawn. I don't know what he's trying to say. He's talking on the same thing again and again, right? So we need to have the balance. Balance about how do we communicate. Managing emotions. This is the most important. I'll be talking about emotional intelligence in few slides. Emotions. We all are human beings and we come up with emotions. Emotions are of three kinds. One is anger. That's a first form of emotion. Second one is depression. That means even though you're physically fit, you feel angry. Okay. Third is excitement. There's something makes us exciting. Exciting can be two ways. Positive excitement is that I feel very happy today. There's no traffic. I could drive in just 10-15 minutes. That's one kind of excitement. Second kind of excitement is I'm very much hard today. Anybody talking anything against me, I'm going to kill him. So I'm excited. You give me something or the other. So the person trying to jump around. So that's a third kind of excitement. Understanding people's attitude. Every person has an attitude. Attitude is not ego. Attitude is something to do with how people behave in a certain situation when they see that. That comes out of experience, their own past experiences, and that affects our understanding of that person. Recognizing the key strength in people. If I were to only look at the negative side of the person, and I don't see the positive side of the person, it would affect me more than any other person. So looking at the strength in the people and many more are part of interpersonal skills. Next slide, please. Then we have this power and authority. This is the most important. Now we have come to the crux of the project management. When I join an organization, let us say I join organization Oracle as a project manager. There is a formal authority which comes to me as a project manager by title because I have negotiated a salary and a role and a skill. But then there are already people working in the organization. So one, how I'm looking at the person and how the other persons are looking at me. So there are two kinds. One is a formal power, one is an informal power. Formal power, that person can be coercive or I can be coercive. Coercive means that I will force. I would say that this is how it has to be done. You don't have any choice. So I am coercing you because I believe what it is true. Now you can't say no because I am a project manager, you are a team member. As a team member, you have to accept whatever I'm saying. You might actually grumble. Oh, what Vilas is saying is not okay. I don't know how stupid this company is. I don't know why they hire such kind of people in the first place. If they had made me as a project manager, I would have handled much better. All that is one side. But still, since I have the power, you're going to accept to whatever you say. Second one is a reward kind. The reward kind is that you have been, let us say, one person A has been working in Oracle for the last 15, 20 years. He has grown in the organization from the time it came here in India, and he has done extremely good job. Everybody talks about him. So then what happens? I as a project manager, even though I have the quality, I need to first go and talk to that person. Because everybody would say, no, what you're saying is right, Vilas, but talk to that person A. He has complete experience, okay, Don't do without informing him. So indirectly he becomes my boss. Even though I am not reporting to him in any way, I need to first go and talk to him. So that is because of expert. So he has an expertise, and that is why he is being rewarded at that position. Third is a legitimately. That is, legitimately means what is desired. That is, he is able to do the job. So he is doing very good. So every time he is being given that power to manage people. Second is informal power. Now, informal power, like this reward, it works on the expertise. That means now this person, be technical, non-technical, has certain expertise, and the organization is accepting to his or her view because of that expertise. Very subtle. It is not made known to anyone. But whenever I go back and say that this is not going okay, they will not do anything okay. Because they know if this person quits, the whole project is in trouble. So they will not do anything. You keep on saying that this X person, he has so much of attitude problem, he's not listening to me, blah blah. Say, yeah, it happens, Vilas. I think you are already project manager, right? You please manage them. Don't keep on telling me that you can't get this thing done from this person, that thing done from that person. That's not my problem. That guy whom is saying that he's not good, we have seen that he's extremely good, and you please understand, all these technical people are highly, intelligent. So Vilas, you need to intelligently look into how to manage them. But don't ask me any further detail. So my boss would say that. Now I again go back to this person saying that why don't you do in this way? He'll say, do you know how this works? I'd say no. Then how dare you tell me how it works? So I know what I'm doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you just leave it there. So that's expert. Third is a referent. Referent is even more dangerous. I join Oracle. I talk to Mohammed. Mohammed says, Vilas, you know what? First and foremost, you need to take a blessing from so and so person. Otherwise, in this company, your survival is impossible. And why I'm telling that is this guy is strong, man. I'm telling you, he knows everything in and out. You don't have to go anywhere. But I don't like this person because I have my own personal views. I go with what Mohammed is saying, but I have my own viewpoints, which say that this other person is being pampered unnecessarily. But then I don't have a choice because he's been referred. Referent is that I need to know how to get things from that person because there are people who are supporting him. So if I do something against that person, my job is at stake. So these are the power authority which gets into the person when he or she joins an organization. So the more the person works in the organization, he has got more power. So if a person were to quit again and again, he has to restart this. If the person is there for a long time in an organization and then grows within the organization, the power is more. So people have to look into whether power is more important or salary is more important to jump from company A to company B. If whenever we jump for salary sake, we are missing this point about formal power and informal power that affects how we do the projects. Next slide, please. We are now looking into stakeholders' interaction within the project. So we now understood till now what is project management, how the power comes into existence, what are the skill sets required in terms of the interpersonal skills, management skills. Now, as you can see in this slide, to take care of this triple constraint, we have human resources. If we are not getting people and the machinery or the material required, we are procuring. Now, whenever we take a contract labor, his or her skill set is limited to the organization where they are working. So they might not be able to work to what Oracle requires. So this again gets into art of getting things done from the vendor. Then the communication. Again, we need to communicate now to the vendor within the organization. That creates risk. So as you can see, I have indicated risk on top of that pyramid. Reason is that if you press it anyway, it is going to fall. So that means as a project manager, I'm standing in the center where there is a huge gravity, right? So If somebody pulls something, that affects the project. So how do we identify risk on the project? Through the human resources, procurement, communication, and that is what we need to do in terms of the project management. Next slide. Now coming to the concept of individual working style and its effect on the project outcome. As you could see, there are following types. Person can be reserved. Next slide. Reserved are persons who don't speak anything at all. You talk to them 100 things, they'll just listen to you. Okay, that's fine. But there is no answer coming. But you went to them for seeking some answer. Say, well, Vilas, I don't know, you took 20 minutes of my time, not that happy. I don't know how you want to do it. You are an expert in this area, you do it, you know it. Second person is a very skeptical kind of people. They will listen to you, but they have their own doubts. They will be actually crossing their chin, thinking of whatever you speak, they have their own viewpoints and their own doubts. And they add a word like, I doubt whether this solution will ever work. I doubt, I don't know, Vilas, I don't know, this is okay, kind, I doubt. So now you don't know what to do with that. Third person is honest. Honestly, he says, honestly, I don't know. It's good, right? Instead of that person who is doubtful, honest is better. But again, we have a problem. Honestly, I don't know means that you should know. Now, I am gone to my boss to understand how it has to be done. So, if that person doesn't know, who else should know? So, that working style is honest. Fourth one is calculated. This person, like the first person, is reserved. He is truly reserved, whereas this person is calculated. That means he is calculating his own move. So while I am talking, he is playing chess game in his mind. If I do this and this, if I move this way, okay. Now Vilas has come here to talk to me about this. If I were to utilize this information for myself, then this affects in this way, blah blah blah. So now he has already made up his mind. So I go and talk to him. He says, "You don't worry, Vilas. I'll take care of the rest." So that is calculated. The fifth kind is an emotional guy. Very emotional. When we say emotional, the house problem he brings to the office, and office problem he'll take it to the home. So he's confused. Which side he or she is confused. Now, when I go to him, boss, I just want to tell you, what do you want to tell me? No, project is not going well. I know that. I know you are not able to manage. That's 100% sure. Now, the best part of me is I don't have to go to him. Because whenever I go to him, I know that he's going to talk to me in this way. So I try to go back or be as far as possible. But that's another kind of person. Finally, the person is called as laissez-faire, means he will delegate everything to the team. He will not do anything at all. So if you go to him and say, "How do we do this?" "Hey, you guys are very good. I think you should be able to find out." Hey, I'll tell you one thing. Go to Google. You can search it out. I'm telling you, it works. It worked for me. So it's going to work for you. So these are the different working style what we find in any organization. Next slide, please. And what is its effect on the project? Depending upon that type, that is whether it is reserved, skeptical, honest, or calculative, emotional, or person who can delegate everything, number of stakeholders of that type would indicate to the person how the project is going to go. If there are many people with reserved attitude, that means this project manager should be very strong, because he will not get any answer. If it is very skeptical person, he needs to now apply for another job, because whatever viewpoints he is going to bring will never be accepted. That's for sure. Third kind, if it's honest, very nice, because then he can grow. Fourth one, if it's calculative, then he needs to be very much sure before going to the person how much information should be given, how much information should not be given, because this person also has to be calculated. And that's the starting point of the politics. When we say organization is turning into political, that means everybody is trying to calculate their own way of work. Emotional, not good, because that creates plenty of issues. But then, if there are more people of that sort, then you should not become emotional. You as a project manager. If people are delegating anything and everything, it's a scary kind of environment because there is no accountability of the project at all, and they will make you accountable. So, depending upon that, different working style affect the project in terms of stakeholder interaction. If there are some kind of stakeholders who are very aggressive, they might not be aggressive at all, or they might be neutral to the project. So, one supporter supporting the project, second one is neutral, will not do anything, third one is a resistor. That means if you say something, that person would resist. If he or she doesn't want to do any changes to the project outcome. So project manager need to understand how to work within the constraints of different styles of stakeholder and the power. That power what you saw in terms of the referent power or all those powers plus the working style affect the project. How you would manage the project. Next slide. Thus, the project management is not only technical. So normally we assume project management is technical. No. Projects might be technical, but managing them is not at all technical. It is about getting things done from various stakeholders who enjoy various styles and power. That means how we utilize their power in a better way and working style in a better way towards the project's success. Ensuring that scope, time, cost, and quality objectives are met all the time and delivering as expected all the time, irrespective of the type of team, situation, and complexity. So this is a bird's eye view on what is expected from a person as a project manager or in a role of a project manager. Next, we will look into what is the meaning of the spirituality. Now, why this is coming to existence? Because we are dealing with humans. So the meaning of spirituality is it is understanding oneself. It has got nothing to do with any kind of religion or dogmas or belief or anything like that. No religion. It is about what I am, what is my strength, what are my weaknesses. Seeing things as they are and not as one desire to see. It means today I'm at Oracle, I reached in time. Oh, very nice. Today I reached in time. No, I got delayed. Oh, yeah, certainly I got delayed. So that means I'm accepting to whatever is the outcome happenings. I'm able to talk. Yeah, I'm able to talk. I'm not able to talk. Yeah, that is true. I'm not able to talk. So that will give me some kind of focus and insight what I might be supposed to be doing for the future. So there is no future insight. We are at the present moment. Only being in the present is all about being spiritual. When we do that, then we get these four. One is called as Maitri. Maitri means it is a Sanskrit word, but it is being friendly towards others, making all kind of friends, all kind of beings. So I would believe that if I am having this problem, any human being will having this problem, right? Let us say everybody is driving towards office, everybody is stressed out. So no point in blaming anyone. Yeah, that guy wanted to go in the front, let him go. It's fine. What's there? So becoming friendly. Karuna, loving kindness. That means say that I feel compassionate towards people. Oh, he's in trouble. Let me help him out. Okay. Mudita, appreciative joy. That means say that if somebody is promoted, instead of being envious of the person, if I feel very happy towards the person, it's good. Let him go. So tomorrow it is going to help me a lot. If I'm envious, what happens is that I'm not able to work. So I keep that anger in my mind. Oh, this guy got promoted. In spite of I doing this project successfully, that guy got promoted. So that would create a lot of issues. And the fourth one is upeksha or equanimity. That means seeing things as they are. That is, if it is I'm feeling hot, yeah, I'm feeling hot. I'm feeling cold, yeah, I'm feeling cold. So I'm not reacting to it. So these four are the building blocks for being spiritual in terms of understanding what is my limitation. I as Vilas, what is my limitation? What is the strength I have? And how I need to focus. It's got nothing to do with any other stakeholder. So these are the things I know, these are the things I don't know. Okay. Whatever is outcome, it is outcome. Next slide. So thus it is not a organized religion, does not have any dogmas or sect, does not have any rites, ritual, regulation, is common to everyone. That means we all have emotions, that is part of being spiritual. That is Understanding one's own emotional is being spiritual. One's own anger is being spiritual. It has got nothing to do with Hinduism has more anger, Christianity has lesser anger, Muslims have more anger. No, that's not the way to look at it. Every human being would react in his or her own way. Understanding the changes happening within oneself and the nature every moment. If you see in the month of March, starting month of March, it was cold some days. Now it's become pretty hot. It's changed. You can't do anything about it. Similarly, we keep on aging every day, every moment. You can't do anything about it. That means things happen in us all the time. Otherwise, as you see, I don't have any hairs on my head. But when I take my photograph of the 2001, I had thick hairs. Now I don't know whether should I sit and cry for the hairs which have gone now, or should I feel very happy that I don't have to comb. It depends, right? It depends on how am I taking it. If I were to cry, I can keep on crying. No hair will come because it's gone. I can't do anything. So understanding the changes which is happening within oneself every moment and in the nature, that is what the spirituality is all about. Next slide. So if we were to look at how the spirituality occurred or what is meaning of spirituality is, I'm not talking Hindus or Muslims or whatever. If we were to go back something like 3,000, 5,000 years ago, the Indus Valley civilization, they wrote the Vedas. So if you were to look at the Vedas, they provided an analogy in terms of practical aspects of life. And Buddha, 2,500 years ago, expounded how to achieve nirvana, means being oneself, irrespective of what is happening outside the environment. So you are out, you are totally away. That means things are changing from changing to changelessness. That is, nothing changes. How to achieve that in this life, irrespective of how you are born. So that was the second one. Third one is this evolved as an eight limb of yoga. That is now whatever now you have got a lot of yoga schools, and now yoga has become like an exercise school rather than anything else. But it is not true. Yoga has got eight limbs or eight legs. One is yama. Yama means rules. Niyama means self rules. That is, there are rules and how I'm applying with myself. Asana is what now all these people will teach about acrobatic exercises. Pranayama is to hold the breath or increase the breath. Pratyahara is to give up. That is my quest to give up. If I'm having anger, how to give that up. If I'm having greed, how to give that up. Dharana, that is I'm now going into the steadfastness. That means I'm now proclaiming myself that I will do this. Okay. For that I require dhyana. Dhyana means meditation, and samadhi where your mind is still, totally still. And that was created by sage Patanjali. And then got expanded into Zen Buddhism. So across China, Japan, Korea, so many of these Southeast Asian countries follow Zen Buddhism. In China, they majorly use Taoism, and in Tibet, they use Tibetan Buddhism, all from various forms of this kind of information. Next slide. So let's understand more into ourselves. Now, I'm not talking anything to do with yoga, philosophy, and all that. Looking into our own mind. Our mind, if you were to look at it, has got six senses. One is thinking faculty. That means we keep on thinking. At present, most of you sitting here or sitting elsewhere are thinking in whatever I'm saying. So, hearing to something what I'm saying, you are thinking. You are adding your own value to whatever I'm saying. So, as you could see, thinking, hearing, touching. At present, I'm not touching any one of you, nor you are touching me. So, there's no touching sensation right now. There is nothing to taste right now. But when we go to the lunch, we taste the food. At that time, all other senses are not working. I see the plate, I see the menu, I say, okay, I need these following things. So now mind is fixed. I'll go to those places, I will fill up my plate, come back. My mind is already ready to receive that this item, what I'm looking at, should be tasty. So the first, when it goes inside the mouth, the sensation would say whether I'm liking that or I'm not liking that. If I'm not liking that, then I'm going to look at the next person, whether he likes it or not. So let us say he's my friend, I talk to him, how is the food? He says, super man. Yeah, I'm not able to find that same taste. Which one you say super? Hey, you know what, this pickle, so nice. Yeah, I ate that pickle, it looks stale. Why don't you change the plate? Yeah, fantastic idea. So let me go and change the plate. Actually, your situation is different than his. His tongue buds are different than yours. His way of seeing is different than yours, but I don't consider it that way. I always feel if my friend is able to taste the food, he says okay, then I should also be feeling the same one. So this is how our mind works. Second, all our actions and reaction are based upon what is perceived by the mind. There is no reality. There is nothing called as reality. What we think reality is out of experience. Let us say I came to Bangalore for the very first time and I have traveled by one particular road and I feel very happy about that road. My friend says that don't take this road, you take some other road. I'm not that. Because my mind is saying, no, Vilas, you have come by this road 100 times. You know this road so well. Don't listen to this guy. He's wrong. How much Bangalore he knows? You know more Bangalore than anybody else. Just follow what you're doing. So then I'll go and ask my friend, hey, how do you say that this road is good? Then he will try proving. Then you say, no man, I'm telling you. See, I've been born and brought up in Bangalore. I know every part of Bangalore. In fact, every pothole, I know it. I also keep on measuring the pothole. So much knowledge I have. How do you say this is not? Because we have our own perception towards what I'm seeing. So this requires two factors. One, sensation, that is, our body generates a particular sensation. So if I were to touch a human being, one sensation comes to me saying that whether the touch is good or bad. If I eat something, that again comes as a sensation to me whether it's good or bad. So always we get good or bad. For the good one, we want it more and more. For the bad one, we want to reject it as much as possible. So that happens with the contact. So when I meet a person who is not known to me, I'm very skeptical. But he becomes my friend and more open. Now I will create one image of that person in my mind. Nice person. I have never met such an individual in my life. Let us say, for some reason, he hurts me. Now, in my image, that is what I made him as an image, is broken. I cannot tolerate it. Say, hey, how did you do this? Who gave you this authority? Nobody told him that you had to create one image of that person, and nobody said that when it is broken, you need to react. This keeps on happening because of the sensation. So, mind also has a sensation through thinking, and we have got 5 sense organs: seeing, touching, hearing, tasting, and smelling. And we keep on playing with that all the time. Next slide, please. So that creates another thing called as 6 rooms. There are 6 rooms. First is negative. If we were to negatively look at it, that is, what is meaning of negative is, I want that sensation. Let us say, first time I'm drinking beer. A 30 ml beer, very small, quantity is very small, that too a beer, gives me a fantastic kick. I feel, wow, super. Even with 60 ml, I'll not get it next time. Whole bottle I drink, I feel okay. Then after some time, 2 bottles, it takes me 2 bottles to get the same kick. After some time, 5 bottles to get the same kick. Same thing happens with somebody smokes, somebody eats. So we indulge, and that starts with craving. Once I crave for some object, I need it all the time. I see this Samsung mobile phone, and somebody is having iPhone. I say, shit man, that's 52,000 rupees, and this is 28,000 rupees. If I get the bonus next time, right? Oracle doesn't give very good bonus, but I'm sure that in this year they're going to give, because sales what we made, I'm going to change my phone to iPhone. And I'm going to show to my friend, look, I also have iPhone 6s or 5s or whatever s is that. See, I got it because I'm craving and becomes clinging. That means I need it all the time. So in the morning I see once. Now it has happened with WhatsApp. The life has become WhatsApp. Everybody has WhatsApp, so you keep on chatting road wherever. Whether it's going to create accident or not, you're going to play with WhatsApp because now you got attached. So that is attachment. Next one is hatredness. That means the sensation I don't want. I feel irritated. Whenever I see this gentleman coming or this lady coming to me, I have my mindset. This person is bad. This person is bad because this person has, spoken so much ill about me. So I need to ensure that I take revenge on that person. So that starts with hatred, creates ill will. But let us say my biggest of the enemy is being promoted. What happens? I feel cheated. How this company could do in this way? So that creates envy. And now, what is that I need to do in life? Is to judge that person. Keep on talking to my friends, whomever I meet. You see this person? Horrible guy. Look at what company has done. They have promoted him. Do you think that it is logical? It is not at all justified in any way, right? So that is hatred, ill will, envy, and judgmental. Third one is delusion. Delusion is that I myself assume something and I believe it is true. Nobody said to me anything, but my mind is saying it is true. Like this road which I am taking for the last so many years, that's the best road to be taken. I believe it is true. That creates illusion. Illusion because I perceive what I perceive is true. Nobody can change my viewpoint, and I become very critical if somebody says this road is bad road. I say, oh, who the hell told you that? Who told you, man? I know this road, every pothole I know it, so I'm I cannot stand it, right? So that become critical, and I try to pretend, even though knowing it is not good, that food is not good, or that mobile is not good, or the computer is not good, whatever is not good, or the company is not good, or my friend is not good, I will feel very good because I don't want to break my own image. Then there are positive. If you change it, because our body has two emotions, one is the positive side, negative side. If you go into the positive side of emotions, instead of holding back, you start giving. You say, forget it, my life is so small. Let me give it. You want this information, take it. You feel very happy internally. And then forgiving. And you said something about me, it's okay, forget it. What is there? Even I told you some two things about you, leave it. So you become forgiving. Non-attachment. There you are very much attached. This mobile somebody took, you say, please give it back to me. But now you say, I can buy, or there's only a machine, you leave. Second, because that you are able to give up, you are able to get into love, compassion, and forgoing. Because now you see everyone as having their own troubles. You don't feel emotionally worked up. Third, it adds into wisdom because now you, instead of that delusion, now you are able to think, oh, every project behaves in a different way. It's okay. Every individual is different, so project also should be different. So there are good ways of handling, there are bad ways of handling. Somebody says something to me that this project is not handled properly. It is not meant for me. It is meant for everyone. Yeah, I am also part of the project. This is a learning. It is fine. So what? Right? So your wisdom increases and you become more accommodating. There you were more fighting. Now you become more accommodating and you become more honest. So these are both are bad actually. Six roots, positive and negative, they both are bad because they will make you go either towards the good or towards the bad. So you can't be in the center. Best way of handling anything in life is being in the center. Not react towards the positive, not react to the negative. Just take it as it is. Next slide, please. So let's look at understanding emotions. I'm talking about emotional. So these are the types of emotion. We can be happy and unhappy at the same time. We are the only animals in the world who can be happy and unhappy at the same time. I see this person, I dislike him immediately. Immediate as much as I like him. Nobody can do anything about it. I can do that immediate. I can show anger on him and say, very nice. Oh, how are you? Immediate. We can trust, distrust at the same time. At the same time. Okay. Third, I can be at peace on something. That means I got something. I feel very happy. I got my increment. See, but this enemy is coming. I see him there coming. Now I want to prove to him, you bugger, you said last year I can't grow in the organization, right? See here. So angry. So I can be peaceful as well as angry at the same time. I can be very humble and very much pride at the same time. I am priding myself because I am talking so much. I have so much of subject knowledge. Oracle has called me, and I can at the same time be very humble. So it depends on which one I'm taking. And I can be having lot of energy and lot of depression at the same time. So everything is the same time, motivated, non-motivated, human, inhuman at the same time. Why? Because of our way of thinking. Each individual thinks in her own way, either what I showed that roots, positive root, negative root, that affects how we understand emotions. These rapidly change when a situation is presented to a person and makes him act or react at the same time. Next slide, please. As a conclusion of this is how it works. So on the left hand side, if you see this about friendly, non-emotional. So when you become friendly, you become non-emotional. You can actually test it out with your wife, kid, friend, colleague, whomever. You just try it out today. You'll see whenever you're friendly, your mind is not emotional because that insecurity feeling will go. Then you feel detached mindset because you know this person is not going to do anything. That's the objective. And you feel very compassionate towards him. If something happens to him, you say, hey, come on. I will help you. But don't worry. Right? Then you become selfless to him. He's my friend. He's like me only. Right? Become very honest. You will be dishonest with anyone, but not with this person. Say, wow, he's my friend, he's my closest person. Then there is no aggression. No aggression. Even if he blasts you, you are happy because you know he is your friend. At the second, if you see aggression, now I don't like this gentleman sitting here. What's his name? Nitin. So I don't like him. I don't know why is he here. Okay? Now you see how it works. I have my own likes and dislikes. I don't like the way he's sitting. It seems to be challenging me, and he's seeing it to me as though I don't know my stuff. What does he know about what I'm talking? And I'm attached to what I'm speaking. I have facts and figures. I'm having 19 years of software development experience. That means I should be knowing everything, right? Then conceit. That is, I hold something for myself. Coercive. And now I want to ensure that he follows whatever I say. And I'm very proud about what I'm doing. And that creates dishonesty in myself. And this reaction, either in positive or negative, is called as self or ego. When we say ego, this is what it means. We can become, I as an individual can become aggressive or non-aggressive. What I like is what is the primary. So I become selfish. So there are two sides, selfless and selfish. Selfish is I'm looking at my own advantage. Selfless is I'm not looking any advantage. Whenever a person becomes selfless, he will not attach anything. You just try it out. Be it material, be it mobile phone, be it computer, be it TV, be it whatever. Be it your wife, kid, girlfriend, boyfriend, friend, whatever. You will never be attached. The moment you take it in this ego, that is myself, which is me, then everything comes. Next slide. Now coming to the agenda. So I gave one section on project management, one section on the human value in terms of emotions and being spiritual. What is the meaning of the spirituality? Now let us look into how they both are connected. Next slide, Mohan. So in managing projects, please remember this. Even though every organization has policies, procedure, template, guidelines, everything, rules and regulation, standards, everything is there. But it changes all the time. Because project always changes based upon human interventions. Customer changes the requirement. Somebody else in the organization also changes the requirement. Somebody works in a different way. Somebody doesn't work in a different way. That is not defined by any organization. Can never be defined by any organization. No matter how many different ways we come up with metrics, we might show how things are going. Each project behaves differently because they are very individuals. No two projects are same. Even though it is really same, it is not, because the requirements are slightly different than what it was earlier. Just like otherwise we wouldn't have so many versions of software, so many versions of these mobile phones, so many shops which are selling so many dresses. Why am I wearing this kind of dress which is of some color than what others are wearing? Because we individually we are different, our tastes are different, so it can't be same. So when that is not same, how can the project be same? So it would not be same. So that's the reason they are different. That means each individual matters on a project, because he or she would like, as a customer, would like to have a particular report to be modified this way or that way, or particular software to be working this way, and that is because of human being. Next slide. So the changing elements here are scope, requirements without changing schedule and budget. When that happens, discomfort feeling for the team. That means the scope has changed, but people have to work within the same timeline. So somebody asks you to come on Saturday and Sunday, and the first reaction is, shit man, my holiday is going for a toss. I wanted to go with my family, and this May season is a good season when my child's schooling is over. Horrible company, I'm telling you. How they can expect me to come on Saturday? Why they could not complete this project when we were working? In fact, there are days when I've not worked anything at all. I came all the way from one location into this white field, did not do anything except for drinking tea, coffee, and I went back. Now, when my leave is sanctioned, I wanted to go, this project was so loss of productivity. So this person comes on Saturday, will not do anything. He will be sitting and doing something. He'll just waste his time, and pressure and dissatisfaction. Second, change in the schedule, that is compression, while scope and budget remain same. That means people say, we will add more people for you, don't worry. You want more people, right? We will give it to you. You get it. Done. More work for the team now, because now that more people, they have to train, they have to also get things done. They should do their work also, they should do somebody's work also, right? Again, loss of productivity, because I'm training half the time and I'm working half the time. In the mornings I'm training, in the evenings I'm working. 5:30 the bus will come, but I'm not able to catch it. 8:30 there's another vehicle which is going, so every day I take the 8:30 bus going home. I reach home at 10 p.m. and again leave by 7 a.m. Again start back to the office, so I get pressure and dissatisfaction. Next slide. So now, what is being spiritual? So projects are always stressful and complex, and external factors make them not meeting expectation. That means it is nothing about me. I can't do anything. Customer changing requirement, what I can do about it? Or if the organization wants to add more feature, what I can do about it? Spiritual approach would cut through to help us in manage those triple concerns. That means if I take it in a very objective way, this is known fact. Yeah, it's software. Unless people see the actual prototype, they will not accept. That means changes are going to be there. That means I am mentally ready that I might have to work on Saturday, Sunday sometime. If not today, sometime it is going to come. When I have a lean period, let me take leave, enjoy, and come back. When there is pressure, I'll work. What's that? See this negative side, now I turn myself into a positive side of emotion in just 1 minute, right? Third one, an effective project manager remains calm because he can't do anything or she can't do anything, motivates and promotes consensus among stakeholders. Because if I react, everybody will react. If I don't react, nobody reacts. Because if I am able to present it very well, saying that this feature, this much timeline has to be added. However, I know all of you are not happy with adding so much timeline. But you see what? If we were to do a haphazard job, it comes into rework. If we have rework, then the customer is not going to like. The customer is not going to like, again the blame will come on us. Just suggesting, I'm not saying that we should be doing it, but however you see, if it can be done, it will be nice, and then leave it. That means the person is not putting blame on somebody else. He just suggesting. It works. If I were to go and say this person has to do it, then that functional manager will say that how can you ask him to do it? It's your problem. Why are you pushing that to him? So it's better to focus on the current and not think about the past, how it was done earlier for that feature or in the future. So we don't know. Future we have not seen. Past is gone. Being in the present is the best way to manage project. Next slide, please. Thus, in dealing with the project situation, we require following intelligence. That is physical intelligence, emotional intelligence, mental intelligence, and the spiritual intelligence. Next slide. So, what is physical? Physical intelligence is, see, we have to understand one thing. Just like when we jog, even the fattest of the fattest person becomes lean. Do you know why it happens? We might say, medically speaking, the water is getting reduced, the fat is getting burnt out, so the body becomes smaller, agreeable. But what is happening here is the body is an element. It is getting consumed. Once it gets consumed, it becomes smaller. Whether you burn it through something or not burn it something, jogging makes it burn because you are adding more fuel. So the flesh starts burning, and that's the reason we start sweating. While on work, same thing is happening. We are not sweating inside, but we are sweating out. Sorry, we are not sweating outside, we are sweating inside. The moment my mind starts working, it is taking the energy from the same body. It utilizes. So if you have observed yourself, by end of the day, some of us feel very tired even though we have not done anything except sitting on the chair. You won't have any energy even to walk up and down and say, oh my god, today, horrible day in my life. I'm telling you, so much stress. Worst thing, emotional. This is most important. How much emotion is good for you? So it keeps on increasing. So there is always a triggering point when you have taken the most of it. It is wanting to explode. So then this person comes who you hated in the past. You see that person and he utters one word to you. All these negativity what you had on the project comes on you. So you start shouting, abusing. But after that, you see your physical energy is again gone because you don't have that energy left because you are tired yourself. Third is mental. When we lose energy, we cannot analyze, concentrate, and articulate. You see any person who is in anger, who is shouting, he will be talking same thing again and again because he cannot get any further idea. So he keeps on saying the same thing again and again because he cannot articulate and analyze. And he or she cannot connect to oneself. When we can't connect to oneself, we don't know who we are. That is the reason if you have observed yourself, or you might have observed some people you would expect them to behave in a particular way. When they behave differently, you say, Vilas acted in this way. Never expected out of it. Oh my god, this 10 years I've seen he has never reacted in this way. I don't know, I think there's some problem in his family. Oh my god, he can do like this? Not possible. Right? So that because that person is not able to connect himself. So while we deal with the project, energy level reduces as we start consuming to handle different scenario in our lives. Next slide, please. So to that we add a personality. Now the personality will come. All this time it's about us. Now it is about other person. So when we add other person, I would like to see the person in how I wanted to see. I don't want him to see in a different way at all. Then it creates distrust among stakeholder. You will try to favor somebody over the other, increases stress at work, health issues, and failure of the work. Health issues comes into existence, like we say nowadays, as even in my previous company where I was working, some people were having BP, some people had sugar already at the age of 35, 36. So I used to feel why this person is getting into this kind of issues, because the amount of consumption we are doing, that means we won't eat well because we are always in the thought. That whole thought is running. So even if I eat something for a quick bite, right? I just go down, eat something, and be thinking about, I don't know, what needs to be done, this needs to be done, that person is doing this way, this person that way. So avoiding all that. So that creates health issues and also failure on the projects. Next slide. So the cause and effect. Now comes the cause and effect. When we are not able to get connected with oneself, means I don't know what is my strength, which is what I started with initially on the spirituality, being with oneself. If I am with oneself, no problem. If I am not with oneself, it creates emotion. When emotion rise, ability to think reduces and creates anger, hatred, delusion. When mental quality decreases, that means I am not able to analyze any further. It directly affects the physical self. And as more energy is consumed now I didn't have energy in the first place. I'm adding, removing more energy from my body. When physical energy is consumed more than what was available, body undergoes various symptoms, and then the problem starts. Next slide. So when left unnoticed, a person would have lots of stress hormones generated called as cortisols and epinephrine, since body considers that there's some emergency to be attended, and then we'll have all kind of issues as you can see on this slide. Next slide. So solution, first solution, as any person, when we join the organization, try to understand the type of organization. Is it projectized, matrix, or functional? Okay, that helps to know what is possible in what kind of organization, so that you are ready to take on the challenges. Next slide. Then look into stakeholders, whether they are unaware, resistant, neutral, supportive, needy. These 5 different kinds, what we spoke. That helps you to understand what the stakeholders are. Are they going to support you or not going to support you? Next is that when identifying risk, estimating and completing a scope, look into whether stakeholder would be risk seeker, risk averse, and neutral. Focus on area where project can be turned successful, since everyone would be having their own perception, like I have my own perceptions about the project. Okay, next solution is always look from the project viewpoint than just the individual, since an individual it is just a perception, because everybody comes up with perception. Everybody has perception. Human beings have perception. You can't do anything about it. So always look for the project view. Don't go by the person view. When we go by the person view, the problem starts. So don't do that. Focus on the project status report than the personality report. Personality report is when the person is, which person is sending me the report becomes more important than the report. You better only look at the report, because at the end of the day, each one of us are working for the organization. Each one of us are not working for ourselves. Tomorrow, if Oracle says to me that you are no longer required, I can't do it. No matter I show my anger, I take one stone, hit at this glass door or whatever, it's not going to help. Maybe Mohammed is going to call some police and then ask me to be taken away. But other than that, nothing is going to happen. So when I'm working for an organization, I can't do anything much except for what is required to be done in that organization. So just look at status report rather than personality report. Come up with impact analysis to present to stakeholder instead of just presenting the problem and seeking solution. It's better to go with an impact analysis. Once we do impact analysis, may be accepted, may not be accepted, but from conscience, when we say the word conscience, that means I have done what all to be done. It is up to them to accept to it or not to accept to the will. Next slide, please. When presenting the project report, never blame anyone or any situation because both changes. Please remember, this is one thing what I've seen in these many years of working. The person who said something to me also will quit. The person moves out, project also moves out. I have no control over both of them. Neither the person is permanent, nor the project is permanent. So why engage myself in some kind of worries? Right? So if they say something, okay, no problem. Look at what you as a project manager could do in bringing the project to agreeable schedule, cost and scope and with quality. That's what we are paid for. If I'm paid for 1 lakh, I'm working for 1 lakh. No. It has got nothing to do with the money at all. Money is just a way to compensate for the effort. It's not that I can give 1 lakh worth of work. It's not possible. I might be giving 50,000, I might be giving 1.5 lakhs. It is up to me. I might say this company is looting me, I am giving 2 lakh worth of work. Where the company guys will say that I got looted. This guy is only giving 30,000 value of work, effort for 1 lakh of salary. So it is again a perception. You can't do anything about it. Make everyone focus on solution rather than the problem, as when you discuss the problems without solution, it becomes a fighting match. You say you are wrong, I say you are wrong, you are wrong. So that's how it's going to go. So whoever is strong will win. Next slide, please. So becoming non-reactive, that is to achieve this, give up the comfort of habitual response, practice soft skills. I'll be telling you what soft skills are. Don't get over aggressive on the project. Use of following tools would help in reducing conflict. This is another section altogether, so I'm not touching it because of time paucity. Because this normally I do for 4 hours. Now that I've compressed it for 1.5 hours for Oracle. So these are will skill matrix. This is there on the internet as well in terms of the will skill matrix, interest influence matrix. These two you can find it on the web. If you actually go to the Google and say stakeholder influence model or stakeholder modeling, you can get this will skill matrix, interest influence matrix that tells you how to analyze stakeholder. Other two is listening skills. We always speak, we interrupt. I as a person interrupt. So if I don't interrupt somebody and I talk to him in a way that he can speak more and more, that means that person can share more information with me. Then the reporting skills, how do I report the project? That is most important. Next slide, please. Become open-minded for every situation, as a perception is always limited. We have with limited thoughts. Seek creative win-win situation when you encounter approaches that are not known to you, because we are learning all the time. In our life, we keep on learning everything because we don't know everything. It's not possible. It's not humanly possible to know everything. So that means there's no point in reacting to something which I don't know. I don't know. Simple as that. So you always start respecting other person's perspective as you have done for your own perspective. That is his perspective, okay. Maybe true. I don't know because I have not encountered. That doesn't mean that just because I did not encounter, what he's saying is wrong. Be mindful, as it enables you to reflect before you respond to any kind of situation. So spirituality is about being mindfulness. You be mindful of what is happening at the present moment. Don't go to the past or to the future. Next slide, please. So now we have these some soft skills. One is feel yourself. See how you are sitting in the office. When there is a hot meeting going on, you see your blood pressure is increasing. If you really observe, your breathing is increasing. Just observe. But one good thing about human being, once you focus on the breathing, it stops. You should be mindful. Now, when I'm feeling anger, if I look at myself, I will be having immediate gush of air coming into my body. If I were to observe it for a second, it just goes on. So just take a 3-second break and relax. View the situation objectively and not subjectively. Next. Meditate early morning. No mantra, no tantra. Just observe your own breath for 10 minutes. Or even when you go for a meeting, just observe your breath. If your breath is calm, that means nothing will happen to you. If your breath is slightly heavy, you are going to react. That's 100%. You can just try it out. You try it out with your wife, husband, kid, friend, whomever you want. It works that way. Focus your attention on the thoughts, and you'll be surprised that it just goes away. Try it out. When a thought is coming in your head, as I'm speaking, something is coming in your head, just concentrate on that, it just goes away. It's like a picture. So something is flowing, but it's not truly flowing. It is individual images which are flowing. Once you observe the image, it just goes away. And you can't even trace where it went. So this shows the impermanent side of every thought. We mechanically assume that it is continued. It is not continuous. While I am hearing to this lecture, I'm thinking about my stomach. I'm feeling hungry. It is already 12:30. I don't know when he's going to close the session. I had this meeting I wanted to attend, and this is happening. So a lot of thoughts are entering in my mind. But somehow I'm sitting here, right? Now, being mindful is I remove all that. Once I remove it, I don't know where all those things went. Next slide. Depending upon your natural, about your nature of mental attitude, just be mindful. Just be mindful. That last part is what I used to do in this company where I was working. Success and failure. What do we mean? The company is working because even there today. That means I joined a company doesn't mean that it became successful or a failure. Even when I leave, it might still be there. It's true. Just because I quit the company doesn't mean that whole company also will close down. No way. You see Yahoo, they fired the CEO. Nothing happened. You see at HP, they fired 4 CEOs. Nothing happened. It's still there. Company is there. It didn't close down. The founder of Yahoo was thrown out. Nothing happened. They're just there. It didn't close down because Jerry Lang is not there. Oh, okay, we are from Yahoo, we have to close down the shop. No. That means person can be changed, and it's only a temporary phenomenon. When I quit the company, some friends of mine will come and talk to me. After a few weeks, the calls reduces. After months, 1 or 2 calls. After 1 year, nobody calls. If I were to meet that person, hey, how are you? Where are you, Vilas, nowadays? I don't see you. And I'll say, yeah, even I couldn't see you for long. Yeah, I changed the company. You see, this colleague and myself, we used to talk project all the time, eating, sleeping, waking, every time this project was most important. Now we both have quit the company. I don't even talk about who other colleagues are or anything. How is that person? Is all right now? Yeah, he's very much. That's all. There is a matter. But first week of my quitting the company, I am very much interested in knowing what is happening in Oracle. Did this happen? That happened? Did that person had the promotion, or he went home, or what happened? After 3 4 months, I don't care. After 2 years, whether Oracle got HDFC project or not, Oracle got that project or not, or this person got this promotion or not, does not really matter. So if you see that, it is temporary. Whatever I am reacting today is only temporary phenomenon. I feel it is true. Next one. So this is now I'm coming into something called as wheel of life. Next slide. This is there across Himalayas. I'm not trying to promote my Himalayan fantasy. Just trying to say why this is so important. Next slide. See, if you see this, it looks like fantastic painting, but next slide will tell you about the project management side of it. Next slide. See here. So we are reacting based upon these 12 objects here. One is the pleasure what we get out of the project, and we attach to it. Then project gets closed. Project gets closed. Then there is new project. Then there is some pleasure what I'm getting. I'm ignorance of everything is mine. I am the most strongest person in Oracle today because I have this much capability. Then I want to create my own way of thinking. Now getting into the consciousness. That is why monkey? Because monkey keeps on jumping from tree to tree. So my mind is also jumping from one idea to another idea. Mind and body, that coordination. Again, seeing, tasting, all that what you saw, body contact. Now I am getting contacted with people. Then I create my own world here. And because of hatredness, desire, delusion. Because of this whole thing, whole cycle of life, this is called a cycle of life in Buddha's terms. So this is there in all the monasteries. If you go, you will be able to see this. It's very nice. This I used to think a lot when dealing with projects. So I thought that let me show to you on how this works. Next slide. So application, by applying project management principles as a process, you can get everyone on the same page. To make them understand project outcome, you need to understand stakeholders, for which you need to know how to connect to people, because we need to connect with people. And by following the spiritual tools with wisdom, you're not only able to connect with people but also get a desired result because you're not reacting. Once you stop reacting, everything becomes alright. Just try it out. Next slide. So awareness is to know. That is, I'm getting aware. I'm in this room, I'm aware. I'm not lost. Yes, I'm aware. Mindfulness. Oh, Vilas is ending this saying final thoughts. Okay, he's ending. Right? Is to remember moment from moment to moment. Concentration. I'm choosing my attention. I'm not getting everything. I'm not thinking about lunch. I'm not thinking about what Mohammed is doing. I'm not thinking about what others are doing. I'm only mindful of what I'm doing. Thus, by applying all the three on triple constraint on projects, you can steer the ship of project from shore to shore and make stakeholder enjoy the journey. Because as a project manager, I'm supposed to be guiding the ship, nothing to do with who the people are. Where they want to go, they will go. Whoever comes in, I'll take the ship. I will ensure that they are happy with the ship. That's my job. Nothing else. If I were to apply this, I don't care. Oracle, whichever company, it doesn't really matter because I'm happy. Next slide, please. This is one more wonderful painting which I see in Himalayas. If you see here, this looks to be a fantastic painting, but it's so much spiritual into it. This conch, what you're seeing, it is actually wisdom. Wisdom. In India, we see elephants. We have elephants everywhere. Reason is elephant is always treated as bundle of knowledge. That's the reason we have Ganesha, all that knowledge. Right? A person who can clear any kind of what I can call. If there is any obstacles, knowledge will remove obstacles. Then the monkey is sitting there. You see the monkey. That monkey is your mind. If you give the monkey a wrong mind, it does what it should do. Then on top of that, there is this rabbit. That is purity of thoughts. If you have wrong purity, if you don't have purity, it will work the way it wants. And you see on top of that, there is that bird. The bird is your desire. You desire for those fruits which are there. This elephant, there is no way it can get the fruit. It is called as fruit of action. So you ask the bird to get that fruit. The bird is taking the fruit of its choice. It's giving to the rabbit. That rabbit is just collecting it. It has no idea giving it to the monkey. Now the monkey is deciding whether it should give it to the elephant or not. Once you leave yourself to that monkey will start playing its own games. And we get into more and more negative thinkings all the time. And we presume whatever we want to presume because it never comes into this knowledge at all. That elephant is waiting to show the knowledge to the monkey, and the monkey doesn't want any knowledge at all. All that it wants is those fruits which are hanging in there. Okay, so that's a thing. Next slide. So that ends my talk on project management and spirituality. This is a Tibetan language. It says thank you. Nothing else. So thank you very much for your time and watching this, and I appreciate.
Janani?
Yeah, it's already 12:50. Thank you very much.
Janani? Janani?
Any question?
Hello?
I think somebody is asking whether this presentation can be shared. I think you can share.
Yeah.
I have a doubt on your slide without disturbing the presentation.
Yeah, sure. 1 minute.